Dearest beloved friends, first and before anything, I send you all my love, my thoughts, my prayers, my friendship, all our solidarity, worry, and care, and prayers for each and every one of you. This is a very difficult moment for every Jew around the world in this moment in history, for Israel and all its inhabitants, for the human conscience and our human family. I want to share with you the words I shared with our community here in the city of God in Jerusalem this past Shabbat. I called this Shabbat the Shabbat of Magen Avraham, ancient words in Hebrew, which mean the shield of Abraham. We need a shield, and we also are holding ourselves a shield of humanity, of care, of solidarity, of holiness, of guarding everything that is holy, all the sanctity of our world and the human dignity, and of the prayers that we all hold for our human family and for all the innocent. In Jewish ancient tradition, we say 3 times every day those sacred words, ancient words, Magen Avraham, the shield of Abraham. Why did we Jewish people choose to say those words 3 times a day in the most holy and significant prayer, the shield of Abraham? Why does God choose to tell Abraham in this week's portion, Al tira Avram, Anochi magen lach, do not be afraid, Abraham. Even though life is so scary, the world is so scary, this moment in history is so terrifying, I will protect you and give you the tools to protect you. I want to say that I only understood this for the very first time in my life now, in the midst of what we are going through. I understood this thanks to the members of our community here in Jerusalem, the city of God, who are working every day, each and every moment, to provide all the citizens with vests of hope, with food, with care, and provide our soldiers with bulletproof vests. The Israeli army does not accept any bulletproof vests, but only those who have the quality to really fully protect our soldiers, to really fully protect all of us, so that God forbid nothing happens to the protectors, to the guardians. In a lot of ways, the prayer of Magen Avraham is also an ancient spiritual, moral, ethical, bulletproof vests that's handed from the people of Israel from generation to generation and handed to the whole entire world to use it in a moment of crisis. We here in Jerusalem, in the city of God, in the community of Zion, and all around Israel are creating a protective vest, a bulletproof vest, to protect everything that is dear to us. Human solidarity, generosity, care, charity work for every human being around us right now in the city and in this country. Mutual responsibility for every citizen of every nation, of any religion. We are doing these things on the highest human moral level to protect ourselves from harm, to protect ourselves from bullets of cruelty, of indifference, of what is complete wrongdoing to our human fellow, to our innocent Israelis who are all captive right now in Gaza. Therefore, we must be ourselves the factory that makes the best quality protective vests for all people of Israel and for all people of humanity, all nations, all religions, in a moment of attack on everything that is sacred to us, on the dignity of human being, on the dignity of all the innocents, and on their lives. So what is Magen Avraham, the shield of Abraham? The Rebbe, the Rabbi of Dinov, tells us that the shield of Abraham is made out of 2. First, it comes from the word leganot. Magen comes from the word leganot. It means to decree evil, to stand against evil, to cry and scream against evil, and to in any way and in every way speak up against evil. That no circumstance justifies the murder of innocent people, women, and children. No circumstance. That no circumstance justify the rape of women and children and young girls. No circumstance. that no circumstance justifies taking hostages innocent people, women, infants, babies, children, Israeli, Jews, Thailand, Nepali, people from all religions, from all nations. There was no distinction between them. They were all taken. It is a crime against the people of Israel, and it is a crime against all humanity, and it has no place, not in Israel or anywhere else in our world. The word Magen Avraham also means to protect goodness, to protect kindness, care, to protect mutual responsibility and holiness, and all the values with which we speak in a world that wants and thrives for peace. All the holy things our ancestors handed down to us to make sure that we put them as an armor on our heart and soul and conscience, even in moments of evil, especially in moments of darkness and evil. They said Magen Avraham, and they stood up generation after generation against evil. Despite the Holocaust, despite pogroms, they stood up against evil and they stood up for the good. And we too are standing now. We are tall, we have deep roots given to us by our ancestors, and ancestors of a tradition that never gave up on standing against evil and standing for light, for right, for peace, for goodness and kindness. And we are wearing those ancient protective vests of light, of holiness. They never took off their vests, our ancestors. They handed it down to us. And now it is our turn to carry those vests, those life-saving vests, saving our soul and heart and conscience and strength on our own. Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch explains why Abraham was chosen to be the father, the shared father of monotheism, of Christians and Muslims and Jews. He explains that there was a huge world war during the time of Abraham. There was a war with the people of Sodom. It was an indifferent society without any sense of mutual responsibility, where it was forbidden to care. No one cared to protect the person next to them. And out of that war of the 4 kings against the 5 kings escapes one refugee who runs to Abraham, who is not connected to this war, because he knows that no one else beside Abraham will care. He tells Abraham, our forefather, our shared forefather, the father of the Jews, of the Muslims, of the Christians. He tells him, that refugee, about the war and about Lot, his relative, the relative of Abraham, and about many other people who were captive and hostages in this war. Considering his surrounding society, we would have expected Abraham to say, there is nothing I can do. I am weak. But that's not what Abraham says. Abraham says, I know what it is to be human. I know that history is speaking to me at this moment right now. I know I have to choose not what to do, but who to be. What kind of a human being I will be. And Abraham becomes the first believer in history because he is the first to free captives. He does not give up on believing in the innocent. He does not give up in believing in his responsibility for the hostages, the captives, or the missing people. He does not give up on any of those. He decides to do whatever he can to free the hostages and the innocent. And that is why Abraham was chosen to be our shared forefather of Jews, Muslims, and Christians. He goes out in our name to protect the captives, the hostages, the missing, the innocents, to go and bring back the refugees from a war that they did not choose, that was brought upon them in cruelty. And he is the only one who cares and cries for all of us to make sure that we too follow the footsteps of our shared forefather, Abraham. There are 3 characteristics of Abraham that we learn from the Torah, from this past portion of this past Shabbat. The first is that Abraham hears the call of the captives, of the innocents, even though he seems so very far away. But he hears their call, their plea, their cry, their sorrow. And not only this, but he amplifies it. He amplifies their call through the Torah, engraving it in the holy text which we read until today, teaching the whole world and teaching his descendants, Jews and Muslims and Christians, and all the world, that it is forbidden to give up on the innocent and the captives and the hostages. The second thing that Abraham does is to understand that his brother was taken captive. He sees all those captives as his own brothers and sisters. It says in the Torah, in the Holy Hebrew Bible, it says, Va'ishma Avram ki nishba achiv. He hears and understands that all these people who are captives are his own brothers and sisters. We are family, one family. Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch and the ancestors in the Midrash explain that just a few sentences earlier, Abraham and Lot, his relative, were fighting. But now that no longer matters. And not only this, but they are all his relative. Now it does not matter if we are left or right. Now it does not matter if we are Israeli or Jewish or Christian or Muslim. Now that does not matter. None of that matters now. Now, the only thing that matters is our human family and protecting all innocent, whether they are Jews, Israeli, Thailand, or whatever they come from, any religion, any nation. Now we are a family. We are all the family of Abraham. Abraham calls out, reflecting the cry that he heard, and he knows it is the cry of his own family, our family, the elderly, the children, the women, the people of Thailand and Nepal, who were all taken hostages with complete cruelty. There was no distinction between them. They were all taken together. They were all hurt together. They are all there together and need us to act together for them all. The third thing we learn about Abraham is that he goes out to save them. Rabbi Hirsch explains that Abraham educated his family for that moment. He educated us for this moment. To stand against evil, to free the innocent. He taught his family, even in the most difficult of times, to stand up for the love of humanity, for shared responsibility, for morality, and the sanctity of human dignity. His family was able to condemn the evil, every evil, to say what is forbidden completely, and to stand up for what is right, and to protect holiness, the holiness of every human creature. This moment in history of freeing the captives is a test for the state of Israel, is a test for all Jews, and is a test for all humanity and for our entire world. The world at this moment is confused between good and evil. What is completely, absolutely forbidden with what is permitted. And our job is to be able to be ourselves the very shield of Abraham and stand up for what is right. To remind the world that killing is forbidden, that rape is forbidden, that taking innocent hostages is forbidden in any circumstance, and showing how we should be right now as a society in Israel, as a society in the Jewish people, as a society everywhere we live, as a humanity, to be humans, to be the children and the protectors of Abraham and the shield of humanity. This moment is why we say as people 3 times a day the holy words Magen Avraham. We are standing now to protect the state of Israel, protect the innocents, protect the human family, protect the human conscience. When we look around at our community, I can tell you we see people of all ages acting as the shield of Abraham every day and every moment, helping each other, helping every human around us, every community, from every nationality, from every religion. We are living at a time of great darkness, and it is our duty to continue and be the largest factory of creating human light and hope and strength and trust and care, and not to let anything take away that battery. to be together, to pray for each other, to help each other, to care for each other, to be a shield for each other. The world is in need of saving from destruction. We are in a struggle for humanity, for the divine essence of humanity, for conscience, for morality, for values of responsibility, of standing and fighting for the innocents. And we need to use our ancient tools in our Jewish tradition and in every ancient tradition to strengthen all of those together. We need to strengthen each other within our community, and we need to make sure to hear the cry of those who need us right now. This Shabbat, here in Israel and in Jerusalem, the city of God, we prayed for the innocent and for the hostages, and we will pray for them every moment we have, and we will ask you to join us in our prayers for children, elderly who are Holocaust survivors, infants, babies, Thailand and Nepali, and many other people who are all there, and all need us to be committed to hear each and every name of theirs, and to know that we are the family of Abraham, we are the shield of Abraham, and we will hear their cry and speak for them and stand against any cruelty and ask for the help of God. To all believers, to all Muslims, to the Palestinian people, to all those who believe in human rights and human dignity, I say, these terrorists are not speaking in your name. They must not be speaking in your name. They must not be speaking in the God's names, in your God's names, in Allah, our God's name. They cannot be your leaders. They cannot be your heroes. Condemn them. Please join me in praying for all these innocent captives. May they be freed by the God of our joint father, Abraham, and by our shield of Abraham. He who answered Abraham, may he guard and keep the hostages and captives who are taken from their homes and fields and are in danger with foreign cruel enemy in the hands of forces of destruction. May you have mercy upon them, and may you help us save them from darkness and shadow of death, from the hands of their captors, from distress. And may you, God Allah, may you, God Hashem, may you, God of our forefather Abraham, of the shield of Abraham, God of morality, return them speedily to their families, to our society, to our community and homes and world. And may we experience the actualization of the passage to all hostages from all religions and nations, to those hostages that we in Israel wait for and pray for so much. And the captives of God will return and come back to Zion, and happiness will overcome pain and sadness. God will grant people might. God will grant his people might. God will bless all people with peace. May God grant our people might. May God Hashem bless all people with peace. Amen.